evening, ladies and gentlemen. Buenas tardes, damas y caballeros. It is with great pleasure that we are here on the 4th day of COP20 here in Lima to announce the fossil with all of you. For those of you who don't know, the Fossil Award is given each day to the countries or groups that have done the most to be the worst, that have done the best at being the baddest and ensuring that a fair, just and binding treaty is not accomplished here. Para los que no saben, cada día esta presentación de fósil está regalado al país que es lo mejor en ser lo peor, que ha hecho lo más para que no pasa nada y para asegurar que no saldremos con un acuerdo justo y bueno para el mundo. So, and as many of you might know, we begin each day with our fantastic song, which many of you may have had stuck in your heads for the past few days. Si los que no saben, empezamos cada día con nuestra canción. Y os invito a todos a cantar con nosotros. And I would like to invite all of you to sing with us today. The lyrics are right there, written quite large, so there's really no excuse for not singing. Got it? Great. Maestro, if you please. So, now we begin the moment you've all been waiting for, where we begin to speak about who will be today's fossil winner and why. But to begin, I think we should be grounded in the culture. And I wanted to share a poem with all of you that is from the state of Vermont, where I've spent many years. It is a poem a few of you might know, by Robert Frost, but we have changed it slightly because the climate is changing, everything is changing, so we have to change poetry as well. The road not taken. Two roads diverged in Lima, Peru, and sorry I could not travel both. Being one traveler, 20 years I stood discussing. With one path I could choose, for 10 years I could not change route, to where it bent towards a global ecologic meltdown. A 10-year journey, it would ensure, with friends to guide the way, good Shell, Enbridge, and Koch brothers too, all offering their big cars to drive me towards this doom, extending corporate profits, locking our problems in, and turning the skies gray. Then I saw another path, with only 5 years locked in, that having perhaps the better chance I foresee to give us a livable future below 2 degrees. With this path, we can have a just review to improve the agreement, as we might have to do. Technology, innovation, and social change might well evolve in just 5 years, so that by 2025, our governments are all ears to listen to the logic and do something slightly sane. The next fossil we do award for demanding we all choose the path they want. 10 years locked into corporate greed, we all do know, might lock us out of 2 degrees and guarantee, oh no! Imagine ye in 2025, the price of renewables in steady decline, with the possibility of a world powered by sunshine. So, to our fossil winner we do implore, take the commitment path of 5 years' time. This is the path we must travel by, and it will make all the difference. That was pretty clear, I hope. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our second place fossil winner of the day. Drum roll, please. The European Union. And can we have someone from the European Union come up and accept this award? I know someone's here. Linga. Hey! Thank you kindly. You gotta stay over here. Right here, second prize. Keep trying. Maybe you'll get first prize soon. You're working on it well, though, so maybe tomorrow. The European Union wins the second place Fossil of the Day award for calling for a 10-year commitment period, a surefire way to lock in low ambition in the future climate deal. No, European Union, 10-year cycles is not the right timeline for the next deal. 5-year commitment periods ending no later than 2025 is the approach you want to follow in order to capture the fast evolving dynamics of domestic and political energy situations. Only this time frame will prevent us from locking in low ambition. Only this time frame incentivizes early actions and ensures the politics is linked to the latest climate science. EU, you must not pretend your hands are bound by your 2030 climate and energy package towards 2030. There is no technical reason at all you cannot put forward a target for 2025 based on what you have agreed in that package. The time to decide a common 5-year period is here and now in Lima, in order to enable countries to prepare their INDCs with a clear guidance for this 2025 time frame. The quality of future climate regime is at stake in a rapidly changing world where renewable technologies are becoming ever cheaper and competitive. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear a wide boo for the European Union's stance on this 10-year commitment period? 10 years is a long time. Think about your haircut 10 years ago. Okay, and now for today's grand prize fossil winner, we have a quick demonstration that will take just a moment of your time about a very common tactic used in military excursions, in corporate capitalism, and right here in the UN, called, what's it called? Thank you. Divide and conquer. If you please, a special guest. Here we have a little community. They're all very happy, just like many parts of the agreement. And all together, the parts of this agreement are strong. And cannot be broken. But with divide and conquer, if you pull out one of the parts, perhaps some of the most vulnerable parts of this text that refer to some of the most vulnerable countries here, it is much easier to conquer them. Let's see how this goes. If you're squeamish, close your eyes. Oh. Don't worry. This is the kind of thing you can adapt to. It's not a loss at all. There's not really much damage. We'll get some tape and everything will be fine. And here to talk just quickly about loss and damage in the current situation we're in, we have a very special guest today from the Philippines who we've invited to say a few words. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Denise Fontanilla. I'm with the Climate NGO Network in the Philippines. I also track the Filipino delegation here in the climate talks. Let me tell you, it's really difficult for me to track whatever is happening here, whatever's being done or being not done, as the case may be. But it is harder for me to imagine what my countrymen are going through right now. knowing how the typhoons have affected them in the past years, and seeing what is how the negotiations have been delayed, how action is not being taken. The Philippines simply cannot wait for the climate negotiations to just go on and on. We simply cannot afford further delays. And we implore on all countries negotiating here today to just take action now. Thank you.
Thank you. And in the context of what we all know is happening and might well happen soon, it is important that we talk about the countries that are most vulnerable and the losses and damages that friends such as this one may face. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in this note, we would like to present today's first prize fossil award, which will be delivered to Australia. And why? Australia wins fossil on lost and damaged position on loss and damage. Coo-wee! Australia has taken first place in the fossil of the day. This dubious award was handed down to Australia after it said in an ADP session on the 2015 agreement that loss and damage should be an element of adaptation, not a standalone part of the Paris Protocol. But hear this. This stance is in direct opposition to the countries most vulnerable to climate impacts, including those from AOSIS, the LDCs, the Africa Group, and AILAC, who want to see the agreement feature loss and damage as separate issue, not bundled into adaptation. It is not possible to adapt to your farmland being turned into desert. It is not possible to adapt to losing your land due to rising sea levels. Not really that cool with another major typhoon bearing down on the Philippines, incidentally, the third during a COP. And with the IPCC warning that some climate impacts will soon be irreversible. The Aussies will lose, mates, on this one. Can we hear a boo? And now we will sing. And thank you all for coming.
The trophy.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Oh yeah.
Hey.
Oh.
You can burn that to get home.
Oh yeah. Oh. Ready? Yes. The Fossil Day song, if you please. Fossil of the day, fossil of the day, who is bad, who is worse? Fossil of the day, fossil of the